Zero the Kamikaze Squirrel for the Sega Mega Drive Genesis. I'm reviewing this version. Also got released for Super Nintendo, and there's not really any differences except graphics. It's the same game virtually. About the game, it's okay. I beat it about 5 times, 6 times. It's a good game. You obviously control kamikaze squirrel, obviously, and the point is to get through each stage, make it to the end of a level and beat bosses, and just keeps going. Just keeps going on level by level, the same thing, until you get the final boss. Now I prefer this version to the Super Nintendo version for one big reason. This version, you don't have to worry, it never happens. The second to last level, you're in like a helicopter and you're flying up. But the problem is in the Super Nintendo version, it crashes 3/4 of the time and you've got to start the whole thing again. Like the Super Nintendo version, I've only ever been able to beat once without having to cheat and put a cheat code in to get back all the way back to there again, because that happens 3/4 of the time and there's no point going through the old game again. It's just a waste of time, and then it happens again. I mean, 3/4 of the time it always happens. In the Super Nintendo version, you can't get up the window. It goes down slowly and it crashes. The game doesn't crash, but it virtually crashes because the controls like are froze. You can't do anything. But it doesn't happen in the Mega Drive version, fortunately. So I recommend the game. I'd give it 7 out of 10. Play this version though. Stay away from the Super Nintendo version for that reason. The Super Nintendo version has that horrible glitch, and it's not just happened to me. See reviews online about the Super Nintendo version. It happens way too much, but it doesn't happen in this version, fortunately. And I think this version is better than the Super Nintendo. Besides that error in the game on the Super Nintendo version, anyway, I still think this version is better. It's faster, and the Super Nintendo version has poor hit detection, where this version seems to have better hit detection, but same gameplay. But this version's better for that main reason. At least this version doesn't crash on the second to last level before you fight the final boss level after. This version doesn't have that problem, fortunately, but the Super Nintendo version, it happens 3/4 of the time. Like I said, I've only ever been able to beat the Super Nintendo version once for that reason. Without cheating, I mean. I beat it a few times without to cheat, because I'm not going to start the old game again just to do the same thing again. Get 50 minutes in and then do the same thing again. Play this version, the Mega Drive version of this game if you're going to play it. Avoid the Super Nintendo version. Completely avoid it, and play this version, the Mega Drive version, if you're going to play the game.